Skinny Hard Always Southern Tea, back with another EP. Y'all do your boy a favor, y'all smash that like button for your boy. When you roll on in, whether you're here for a good time or a long time, I greatly appreciate you sliding through. If this your first time, do your boy solid. Don't make it your last time. Hit that subscription button as well. We talk this good boxing, MMA, sports, parlays, predictions every single day and not just today. Okay, today we here. I'm not even gonna call it news that you can use, right? But because you really can't use this news, right? But it is news of interest, right? It's pertaining to Javante Tank Davis. We all, heard about the news about Javante Tank Davis, coming back to fight possibly Floyd Schofield on um WBA mandatory right? WBA mandatory. Um, right? Well, this is a little bit of a different news. What's good, Judah? I got Judah in the chat. He said every time this has a fight he doesn't want, he violates probation. I could never be a fan of dude. And I said from jump he would not fight Schofield. Shout out my guy, King Judah. Appreciate you sliding through, man. If you could, Judah, man, tap that thumbs up for your boy, man. If you could, we greatly appreciate if you could tap that thumbs up for your boy. Kenny Max Payne. Kenny Max Payne, do me a solid, man. Subscribe to the channel for your boy. Kenny Max Payne said tank over everybody. Shout out my guy Kenny Max Payne sliding through. Don't know if it's your first time, but do your boy a solid. Don't make your last time. Hit that subscription button, right? But it seems that Tank Davis has found himself in a bit of trouble, right? Now, I don't think that it's from anything that he did recently, but he has been violated recently by the same judge in Maryland. Now, the information that I got that the judge signed off on this arrest warrant April 24th, right? It's May 27th. So that was about a month and 3 days ago that this happened. A lot of people feel like that it had something to do with maybe him going on stream yesterday, right? But if you're looking at the actual penmanship, the actual paperwork, it says that this was signed off on April 24th. And this has to do with the hidden run in 2020 that he was already on probation for, right? Not to do with the case in Miami that he's not on trial for, right? But that he's currently actively dealing with right now. This is a separate case, right? This is what he was already on probation for. The judge has violated him for that probation. And if this sticks, if this holds, right, Tank Davis would have to do, some time, some jail time because of the probation violation, right? I got this article straight from TMZ. You can see the article, right? I got it posted up there, right? You can see it on your own, right? So you don't got to wonder where I got it from. But we're about to read the article. About to tell you exactly what it say. See if you can get a better understanding. I'm explaining it from my understanding, right? But this was published today, May 27th at 10:30 a.m. Right. So if I'm not mistaken, that'd be 8:30 a.m. Eastern, 9:30 Central, right? But Javante Tank Davis is in the crosshairs of authorities in Maryland who want the star boxer in handcuffs after allegedly violating his probation during in Miami altercation in the strip club last year, right? Baltimore judge signed off on the arrest warrant on April 24th, accusing 31-year-old Tank Davis of breaking rules of his probation, originally stemming from the hit and run 2020, where multiple people were hurt. The violation occurred. The violation occurred according to local officials when Davis allegedly attacked his ex, Courtney Rozelle, at Tootsie's Cabaret in Miami, where she was working as a cocktail server during the early mornings of October 27, 2025. They basically right now just explaining, the situation in Miami or why she violated him the first time. Rozelle claimed that Davis forcibly grabbed her by the neck, physically moved her through the club against her will before she was ultimately able to escape, which surveillance video backs up. Tank was arrested for the incident in January and is facing felony kidnapping and misdemeanor battery charges. In February, after the incident in South Florida, a subsequent arrest, a judge in Maryland issued a warrant for Gervonta Tank Davis' arrest for potential probation violation. However, Tank's attorney Celeste argued that he cooperated with law enforcement and shouldn't have a warrant. The judge agreed. Fast forward less than 3 months later, that same judge has issued another warrant, and this one has stuck. Davis is currently a wanted man in the state of Maryland, right? So a judge has issued a new one, right? This is not the same one stemming from the violation because of what happened in Miami. She has since issued him arrest warrant following that one, right? This is a new arrest warrant, and he's wanted right now in Maryland, is what TMZ is saying. He's wanted right now is what TMZ is saying in Maryland. Now I will say this. This would be terrible news actually for Tank Davis, right? Because if you violate your probation, then you have to go back and then you have to serve, that time that you were supposed to serve before they put you on, probation for before the violation. So he very well could be missing, some time. He very well could be losing, precious years off his life and precious years off his career, right? This isn't coming from the same thing that she had ordered previously. This is new. This is currently standing now, right? You know what I mean? Again, you can see, where I got this information from, where I placed the link for the article, where the article came straight from, where I placed the article, right? And it says that the same judge has now violated Gervonta Tank Davis again, man, right? And just when it seems like, he was about to, make his return, he was about to make his comeback, and he has been his probation has been violated again. Right, you know what I'm saying? Now, just like it didn't necessarily stick the last time, it is possible, right, that it may or may not stick this time because she did have to rescind it originally, right, when it came to the situation, when it came to the situation in Miami, right? So hopefully, nothing serious comes from this. And this is just, maybe another example of them jumping the gun, you know what I mean, or something like that. Slim Hustlings. What's good? Shout out my guy Slim Hustlings. Appreciate you sliding through, Slim. If y'all could just hit that thumbs up for your boy. I'm dropping this news on y'all, right? That just came across my desk myself. There's not a whole lot of information on it, given the fact that it's really, really fresh, right? Given the fact that it's really, really fresh, all I could do right now is tell y'all that his probation has been violated. The reasoning of his probation being violated is not stated in this particular TMZ article, right? But they do state that a judge in Maryland has, pushed through him violating his probation. So either way, he's going to have to go to Maryland. He's going to have to deal with the situation. Like that arrest warrant has been pushed through, so he has to at some point, go turn himself in to start that legal process. But this is going to be a completely different legal process from the one that he's going through right now in Miami. So he's going to be fighting two different cases simultaneously. He said, "Yeah, I'm seeing it on ESPN." Shout out my guy, bro. And I had no clue he was even on ESPN just yet, my guy. You know. So there you go. My guy Slim Hustle just said he's seen on ESPN, right? So the news that came, and I haven't seen on ESPN, right? I reported it, actually I didn't report it as soon as I got it. I gave it a little time to see was anybody else going to talk about it, and nobody else really talked about it yet. that I saw. So I said, you know what? If it, we'll go ahead. We'll come talk about it. We'll get the people, the info that they. I was waiting for, certain people in particular. You know what I mean? To see where they going to talk about it, right? You know what I mean? But they didn't. So I said, I'll come do my due diligence. I'm gonna give y'all all the news. I'm gonna give y'all all the news that you could use. Right. So my guy Slim Hustling says that he's seen it on um ESPN. Right. So you know, if they're saying it, it's real spill, not a deep Pete Rocker was good. Shout out to my guy Deep Pete Rock. Appreciate you sliding through. So my guy just dropped the story. You know what I mean? He dropped his from ESPN. I got mine from TMZ, right? So y'all know that what I'm spitting ain't no cap. I'm actually about to pin my guy Slim Hustling's. I'm about to pin my guy Slim Hustling's link up there. So if y'all want to click that link, you can read it yourself. I'm about to click that link, right? I'm about to click that link and I'm about to read that one out loud to y'all, right? So we all can get. I'm about to click the link, right? I'm about to read. Y'all didn't have to block. Don't block Kenny Max Payne, y'all. Don't block Kenny Max Payne. I don't know if y'all blocked him or not, but now don't. Yeah, don't block him. Don't block nobody, bro. Don't shoot nobody. Don't have nobody. Right? Don't shoot nobody. Don't have nobody. Everybody's allowed to have their own opinions on her. You know what I mean? Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't do that. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to grow, my brother. Right? So don't shoot nobody. Don't shoot nobody, man. Help your brother. Let your brother grow, my G. Let your brother grow. But appreciate y'all folks sliding through. But yeah, I'm about to hit the gym. All right, I'm about to click that link that my guy Slim Hustling sent, right? So I could see this. So I could see this for myself, right? We go, appreciate you. We go, I'm finna pin this. Let me pin this, and then I'm gonna. This jump won't let me pin it for whatever reason. Am I on the right page or something? Let me pin this link right so y'all can see it, and I'm about to click it. Pin. It won't let me fucking pin it, bro. What's up with this shit? It's letting me click on it right, but it's not letting me go to it. But there you go. Boom. Shout out my guy Slim. Appreciate you, Slim. There you go. Right. So I got Slim link pin in the at the top. Oh, I got the wrong jump pinned at the top. Right. So I got Slim's link pin. I got Slim links pin, you know what I mean, at the top, right? So y'all check that out. But what I'm about to do is I'm about to click it and then we about to read it out damn selves, right? So I can give y'all even more info on it, right? Because I'm getting mine from TMZ. This one is from ESPN. Hopefully ESPN has a little more information, right, than the TMZ. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me clearly? The Javante Tank Davis. Yep, this one was quoted at 404. Javante Tank Davis is wanted by law enforcement in Maryland after allegedly violating his probation when he was arrested in Miami of allegation of domestic abuse. According to the Baltimore court database, Circuit Judge Thaler M. Handy initially issued a warrant February 2nd, but a motion was filed by Davis' attorney to recall the warrant on grounds that the boxer will cooperate with law enforcement. The motion was granted and the arrest warrant was recalled February 10th. However, another warrant was issued by the same judge on April 24th. Davis' attorneys filed another motion to recall that warrant. That motion was denied May 22nd, and the warrant remains active as of today. It is not clear why the latest motion was denied. Davis, 31, was on probation for a November 2020 hit and run in Baltimore that injured 4 people. His latest legal issues stem from accusations of attacking his ex-girlfriend, Courtney Roselle, October 27, 2025, at the strip club in Miami, where she had been working as a cocktail server. Roselle filed a civil suit days after the incident, which forced Davis out of his November fight with Jake Paul. Davis was arrested on January 14th in Florida on charges of battery, false imprisonment, attempted kidnapping. Davis was released the same day after posting an $8,500 bond in order not to have any contact with Roselle. The false imprisonment charge was dropped, but the battery and attempted kidnapping charges still stand. According to Baltimore County database, the current warrant is active, and if Davis is arrested, he will be held without bond. So the biggest thing that I just read out of that is the fact that he's going to be held without bond when he goes back, right? So that means when he does go back to jail, he's going to have to stay in jail. Not even going to be trying to give him a bond, you know what I mean? So that judge, like I said, man, earlier, that judge in Maryland is not playing with him. She's looking for any reason to violate him, and this isn't even stemming from the domestic situation, right? This is stemming from the hit and run, in Baltimore, Maryland, which morality is still, not had the morality of, that one is crazy, right? But this is not, his most recent dust up, which was the one in Miami. But the if he get in trouble for the one in Miami, she can violate his probation in Maryland. It looks like she has already violated his probation in Maryland. He's filed for the motion to be denied, but I mean he filed for a motion on the arrest warrant, but it was denied. So Tank Davis right now is wanted by Maryland police. And it says if he goes to Maryland, he's going to be detained without a bond. So my guy Slim Hudson said Tank Davis is effing up. Yeah, bro. It's like, man, he's ran into like he's ran into a mess, man. He's created a mess for himself, and it looks like that, money won't, it's like just money, right? Won't be able to fix this one. Because it seems like that judge in Maryland seems like she kind of has it out for him, right? Or she's going to try and wield, her power to the full extent of the law, whatever that may be. But this is her second time violating him, you know what I mean, for this probation thing, right? And this time it stuck. Last time, she had to come up off it, so he didn't have to go in. But it looks like this time he's going to have to, come up in. Now, I'm not really sure why they violated him, but also Dean, a lot of people are speculating that it had something to do with him being on, Dean and AB's stream. Dean went to jail last night in Miami. I'm not really sure what that has to do with Javante Tank Davis. Maybe he was around something that they saw, but this motion was put in, a while back. This motion wasn't put in. This motion was put in a while back, right? This motion wasn't put in, you know what I mean, yesterday or anything like that, right? So it couldn't possibly have anything to do, with Dean and AB's stream, right? So a lot of people, just speculating or just talking when it comes to that. If anything, this is something that this judge has been calculated, right? This judge in Maryland, she's been calculated and she's been calculating everything that Javante Tank Davis has been doing. Like I feel like me personally, right? I personally feel like that this judge, she wants Javante, for lack of a better phrase, right? For lack of a better word, she wants Javante Tank Davis's head, right? I said, and boom, I just seen the ESPN alert. I just seen the ESPN alert just came to my phone just now, right? So I was here 20 minutes before ESPN, right? I'm always on top of shit, you know what I mean? Before the rest of the world, Hey, Slim, did you get the ESPN alert already, or did you just happen to see it on there on your own? You mean, Tim, I'm always on top of it. I'm out. So now people, maybe now people won't even question, right? So maybe now people won't even question it. You know what I mean? Where I got the information from, even though I put it on the front screen, right? Maybe now they won't even question, if I'm lying or if I'm telling the truth, because people tell you that I just happened to see it. Shout out my guy Slim Hustles. Appreciate you. Appreciate technique was good. My guy technique just bounced in the building. He said Tank can't get out of his own way. Yeah, technique. That's basically what it is, man. That's basically what I'm saying. It's basically what's going on right now, man. Javante Tank Davis can't quite seem to get out of, his own way. Right. You know what I mean? I know his fans, man. He has some loyal fans, man. He has some loyal fans. He has some devoted fans. Literally, like he may have some of the best fans in the game. When I say that, I don't mean best fans as in, the nicest fans in the world. I mean like dedicated, devoted to everything Tank Davis. He may have some of the best fans in the world. They sit, they make up stories, you know what I mean, right? They destroy everybody else's, right? They diminish everybody else's credit. They big up, Tank's credit. They love him regardless, even though they know he wrong. They still will say he right, even though they know he wrong. They will find ways to make things, benefit Tank, even when he's clearly in the wrong, and we all can see it. Right. So he has a very, very, very loyal fan base, and I'm kind of hurt for them, honestly, a little bit. I'm kind of hurt for them because he is letting his people down. He's letting his fan base down. He's not giving them much positive to talk about, right? Which is why a lot of times you see Javante Tank Davis fans these days, they're really angry. They're spirit venom. They're hating everybody. Like this, it's a lot of, destruction going on within that fan base. And it's because they're without their star. They're without their favorite fighter. They're without direction. They're without guidance. You can't talk about anything Javante Tank Davis is doing because Javante Tank Davis isn't doing anything, which is why people keep, kind of making up these imaginary fights. Oh, he fighting Lomachenko. Oh, he fighting Shakur Stevenson, right? It's fun to talk about. It's cool to talk about. You want to be able to talk about your favorite fighter. Eric Spence hasn't been gone 3 years. I mean, Eric Spence been gone 3 years. I've been losing my mind right now. I can finally talk about Eric Spence again. The Javante Tank Davis fans, I think, are going through a little bit of that, except it's a lot of negativity attached to Javante Tank Davis's name. And a lot of it, most of it, is self-inflicted, if we're just being real. Now, they have not said exactly why this judge violated his most recent probation. So I am curious as to why this particular judge decided to violate, his probation, but it has been violated, man. So that means if he's able to go back when he does go back to Maryland, he's going to jail. You know what I mean? And they said, they're not going to give him a bond, so he's going to have to figure out that legal situation. He's going to have to figure that out until they come to, some kind of, I want to say agreement, but I don't even know if they're going to give him maybe a plea agreement, right, or something like this. Well, TWTea, what's good, TWTea? Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could, man, if y'all could jab that thumbs up for your boy, man. Appreciate you sliding through. Appreciate you sliding through. If y'all could jab that thumbs up. I see that the ESPN alert, just went out. We've been on here about 20 minutes, or so, talking it out. But I saw this, I got this news this morning, right? But I've been looking around and I was trying to find, like more information on like who had exactly the reason his probation was violated. And nobody seems to have the reason. So I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with my story. Right now, it so happened when I decided to go with it, ESPN dropped it about 20 minutes later. So I wish I would have came on. If I had came on her hours earlier, somebody probably would have said I was lying. I put the TMZ link up there just so y'all can have a reference to go to. Right. But now I did just get the ESPN alert. So now I'm pretty sure everybody knows. A lot of people know. Uh, right. So it's not looking, too great. You know what I mean, for Javante Tank Davis at this moment. It looks like he is going to be for sure facing jail time this time, given the fact that they already stated that he's not going to have a bond. So he's going to have to prove that he did not violate his probation in order to have this one. Before, like when she said that he violated the probation the first time, right? He filed for a motion and it was granted instantly. This time he filed for a motion and it wasn't granted. So they must have more concrete evidence, right? They must have concrete evidence that he violated a probation because this one was actually pushed through. I'm going to read. Yeah, okay, nope, that's the same story. Yep. That's the same story. Yep, and he's going to be in inside of the court database. He's going to be held, without bond, right? So that just that sucks, man. That sucks if you're a Javante Tank Davis. That sucks if you're a Javante Tank Davis fans. If you're a Javante Tank Davis fan, right? I know the internet is about to go insane. Let's go, Phillies. Phillies up 2-0. I know the internet is about to go insane. You know what I mean? At this point, right? Because this news that just broke, and right when it seemed like that Javante Tank Davis was about to make his comeback, if you got a warrant, man, unless he fights that, if he has to fight that fight outside of, Washington. But if you got a warrant, man, it's gonna be hard to fight with a warrant because everybody gonna know where you at. Everybody gonna know where you gonna be. They could easily come, maybe scoop you up or have the people. They say the police in Miami, pick you up because you violated their probation, maybe ship you over type deal, depending on the extensiveness of the crime. Right. You know what I mean? But this is not what you want to see, especially in a time where it seems like boxing, especially in time it seems like boxing, is making a resurgence, right? It's making a comeback. It feels like boxing is on the uptick. Even if you look at the actual numbers in itself, right? Boxing went from being the number one sport in America 40, 50 years ago to being the number 17th sport in America as of 2024. Well, now if you go look at it, right, boxing has moved up to like the number 13th or something sport like that, right? 13 or 12th sport, right? So boxing is actually making a resurgence right now, right? And it's begging for stars at the top. This is really supposed to be the Tank Davis era, the Tank Davis genre, the Tank Davis reign. But Tank Davis can't seem to get out of his own way to take the throne. The throne was given to him, right? But he can't seem to get out of his own way to conquer the throne, to sit atop as the best. Everybody wants you to be the best. Everybody wants Tank to be the star. Everybody wants him to be the face of boxing. We love his exciting boxing style. We love his exciting style that he can get the knockout. Right. He didn't talk enough at first. We wanted him to talk more. Now we kind of want him to shut the fuck up, right? But we're glad that he's talking more, right? But when you're constantly running into problems, situations like this, self-inflicted situations, right? A hit and run, okay, car wrecks happen, right? But you didn't have to hit and run, right? Car wrecks happen. You could have took care of the situation, right? But car wrecks happen, right? You got the hit and run, and then you got the domestic violence, right? Which is a reoccurring thing, like self-inflicted wounds, it feels like, right? He didn't get he didn't he didn't he didn't get the hit and run. He didn't get Maybe he wouldn't even have this probation thing, right? If he didn't flee the scene of the accident. If he had stayed there, took care of it on the scene, maybe he wouldn't even be going through this particular case, right? Which is a separate case from what happened in Miami. You know what I mean? But it's not good. Like it's not a good look. And I know his fans, right? His fans are going to take it the hardest, right? His fans are going to take it the hardest, right? Because this is just me being, on the outside looking in, right? Being a neutral, right? Just stating what I see. Again, has very, very, very loyal fans, right? But as of late, man, hadn't really given his fans much positiveness to talk about. Right? Haven't given them much, to look forward to. You know what I mean? Some husband said he was probably drunk. That's why he fled. Right? But if he wasn't driving, right, it shouldn't have right, Slim. Shout out my guy Slim. Right. That could be a scenario too, right? But if he wasn't driving the car, right, because if I'm not mistaken, it was said that somebody else was driving the car and Tank Davis was in the passenger seat, right? So if he wasn't driving the car necessarily, then he shouldn't even have a reason to. He can drink. Like you can drink in the passenger seat, right? You could be drunk as long as you ain't driving, right? Unless he was driving, right? And then that's the case, right? Yep. DP Rock said she was pregnant. Yep, the woman was pregnant also. Yep. So that didn't make it any better, right? But even if you stay on the scene, right, that extra what he actually went to jail for, right, was fleeing the scene. You know what I mean? Fleeing the scene of a hit and run, right? You know what I mean? If he never flee the scene, maybe those charges never get, made. Maybe the charges never get made, type deal. But fleeing the scene, I think, was the wrong thing. Like shit happens, right? The wrecks happen. People get in the wrecks all the time. You don't necessarily get, you know, people don't always get charged for at least heinous crimes, right? In the in car wreck situations, right? The insurance company a lot of time gets sued rather than the person that's actually in the car wreck, right? I think the biggest problem from that came from the fleeing, right? Because he fled. I can't say I can't say for sure, right? But I'm thinking that if he, maybe it goes a little different, right? If he doesn't flee the scene. Maybe, things happen different if he doesn't flee the scene. But all of that's just speculation anyway, right? What's not speculation is that this is a real thing, that this is a real event. I wonder if the reason that Gervonta Tank Davis came on that stream to begin with was to really talk to AB about maybe this situation, right? Before it went public, right? Maybe that's why he came on that stream, before it got public, right? So now maybe it's making a little more sense now. Maybe, he know he's about to, have to do this or do that, and he's, lacing his guy up on what he probably needs to be done in Miami and whatnot, right? In Miami and whatnot, right? But just a black eye, man, a black eye for the sport and what people and who a lot of people, right? I'm not one of those people, right? But who a lot of people call the face of boxing. He for sure has a lot of fans. He for sure has, a loyal fan base. Uh, right. So it's kind of sad to see, man. Tank Davis, I said this before. Tank Davis is kind of, letting the boxing world down. He's letting the fans down. Right. So much potential, right? So much potential. A lot of people thought this probably was going to be one of the greatest fighters ever, right? One of the best boxers ever, right? Somewhere along the line, I think originally, right, he believed that as well. But somewhere along the line, I think it became more about, the bag. It became more about what boxing can do for Javante Tank Davis rather than him, remembering why he started the sport as a 4 or 5 year old. No 4 or 5 year old starts the sports and says, "Yeah, I want to make a lot of money. I want to be rich." You start the sport because you like to fight, right? And you want to be the best. At some point, the goal and the vision change for Javante Tank Davis, and I think that does affect your decision making, right? Because if you're going to be the best boxer in the world, right, you're going to be the greatest ever. You're not going to be doing the same things you're going to be doing versus a guy who just wants to make some money, right? If you just want to make some money, you get the money. You're going to go do things, right, that you want to do with your money. But if you continue to want to be the best and the greatest boxer ever, then you go and you continue to go straight to the gym. You're not out partying, you're not out drinking, you're not at strip clubs. You know what I'm saying, and all that good stuff, right? So when the goal changed, the outcomes of what's going on changed, right? If you keep the main, it's like it's a saying, right? If you keep the main thing, if you're keeping the main thing, right, then the goal will remain the same and nothing is going to change. And but basically what I just said was if it from when Devontae Tank Davis started boxing as a 4 and a 5 year old, he wanted to be the best. He didn't give a damn, you know what I mean, about you know, uh he didn't give a damn about, the money and the cars and the lifestyle and the strip clubs and the women and all that shit. He just gave a damn about the actual work, the actual boxing, the actual gym, becoming a champion, right? But and there's nothing wrong with it, right? When you switch your goal to, I just want to make some money, I want to be rich, that's cool. But there's also things that come with that. You have to be more disciplined. You have to be even more disciplined, right? Because now you don't want to mess the bag up, right? You know what I mean? So I just think it's a tough. I think it's a tough occurrence for Javante Tank Davis. Right. I hope that we do get, more information on exactly what was their probation violation. I'm hoping like, that I'm gonna sit here maybe about an hour, right? I'm hoping like the longer that we sit here, a little more information does come out and we get to know what she violated, exactly what she violated or exactly why, you know what I mean? Exactly why she violated him or exactly what he did, because right now all we can do is speculate. But all we do know for sure right now is that he indeed did violate her probation, and he filed for a motion, and the motion was denied. So the arrest warrant is out for him. There was a previous incident, right, like this. He filed for a motion and it was granted, and the judge had to take she had to take the violation back. But this one hadn't been taken back, and they said if he's arrested in Maryland, if he goes to Maryland, then the arrest warrant is issued for him in Maryland. That's where the hit and run happened, right? So the arrest warrant is issued for him in Maryland, and they said if he gets arrested in Maryland for the arrest warrant, they're not going to allow him a bond, so he's not going to be able to just post a bond and make bond. So that means that he's going to have to do some jail time. I'm not gonna say some serious jail time, but if this violation sticks, right, then indeed he is going to have to do some serious jail time, right? Because probation is, they're letting you off of jail time, right? That you would have had to do, but they gave you probation so you could do it outside of jail. But if you violate that probation, then you have to go back and you have to serve that jail time, right? So Gervonta Tank Davis very well could miss years off of his career, and already being 31 years old, how many more years, right? Can you really, you know what I mean? How many more years can you really afford, to miss, right? But this is an extremely serious, you know what I mean, situation for Gervonta Tank Davis, and this is a probation violation that he had already had since 2020. Right. So best case scenario, that I ain't gonna say best case scenario, right? But a scenario that Gervonta Tank Davis could hope for, if this violation is true, if they do, uphold this violation because it happened in 2020, right? I'm not really sure how long, that how much time, that they tried to give him originally, right? But a case in this scenario, maybe, because he's been on probation so long, he goes back, right? Maybe they give him, oh well, because you served this many years on paper, right? You don't have to do the full amount in jail, just have to do the rest of the years that we originally gave you. But seeing how this judge, who I kind of feel like maybe has it out for Gervonta Tank Davis, because this is her second time, you know what I mean, violate his probation. This time it actually went through though. This time it actually stuck, right? So he really has to go. He really has to go, you know what I'm saying, deal with this situation. At this point, he has to go to jail, y'all, right? There is no way to avoid for him getting out of jail in this particular situation. He has to go to jail now at this point. And from the court documents, right, from what I read today, that if he when he does go to jail in Maryland, because he has to at this point, right? Unless he's able to do what he needs to do to get them. Unless he files another motion, right, and then they grant him, what I mean, that motion. But right now, at this point, he has to go. He has to go to jail, and he has to do some type of time. And it looks like that judge in Maryland is going to make him fight the case from the inside, meaning that she denied his bond, meaning that she wants him in jail while they go through this trial, or while they go through whatever that they're going to go through, right? Because I think that judge in Maryland actually wants him on trial in the state of Maryland, right? And if she's the judge, that means she's making the final call, which is not a good look for Tank, right? Even if people say, well, the judge got it out for the judge got it out for him, the judge got it out for him. If she does, she is the judge. So whatever she says is going to rock. Now he can try to get it, above her head, right? Maybe try to, take it to a higher judge, right? To get it away from her, to try to get maybe somebody else to understand him and what, he's saying. But as long as this judge is at the head, man, she's not giving him the benefit of the doubt, right? She's violated him twice at this point, man. She's violated him twice, you know what I mean, at this point. And this time the motion was denied, right? So he's most definitely going to have to go. I don't want to say go lay it down, right? Because that sounds good. But he's most definitely going to have to do some type of time behind this because no bond was issued because no bond was issued for him. You know what I mean? Type deal. So I need to at least know why, right? Exactly he got violated. We don't know why he got violated, right? And we don't I ain't gonna say I need to know, right? I want to know at least why he got violated, like what it exactly was. If I knew exactly what he did for the violation, I'd be able to tell y'all is it go stick, is it go is it going to stick or not? Right. But I don't know exactly what he got violated for. All I know is that he got violated on the 24th. They filed a motion for it. I don't know exactly what he got filed, like what exactly happened for the probation violation to be, called, but he filed for a motion to have it taken away and he was failed. So and he was denied, right? So whatever it is, he's going to have to go. He's going to have to go see it through at this point because it's stuck, right? Whatever it is, whatever he got violated for, he's going to have to go see the legal process do because it did stick, meaning that he has officially violated his probation, y'all. So, and y'all know, and maybe you don't know. Maybe you don't know. Hey, what's good, Stay? And maybe you don't know. You know what I'm saying? How they go. Maybe you don't know how they go, right? But if you violate probation 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to do the rest of the time on that sentence that they gave you the probation for, which would mean that Tank Davis could miss a couple years out of the sport, right? You know what I mean? Talk about a guy getting in his own way, right? Tank Davis literally has the whole boxing world in his hand. He has the world at his feet, right? They want to give him the big bags. They want to give him the big money. You're the face, or if not the face, you're one of the faces of PBC. What Gervonta Tank Davis is doing right now, he's basically handing over PBC to David Benavidez. He's saying, "Here, David, take the crown, David. Take the #1 spot. I don't want it." Deontay Wilder held it down for years. Errol Spence held it down for years, right? Floyd Mayweather before them too. Next in line, it was supposed to be Gervonta Tank Davis, and then Gervonta Tank Davis was supposed to pass it down to David Benavidez. But what Gervonta Tank Davis is about to do right now, he's about to let he's about to let David Benavidez take the crown, take the ball, and run off with it. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of Gervonta Tank Davis fans now are going to switch to David Benavidez, and I think you should, right? Because he's a more reliable fighter. He's more a dependable fighter. He's a fighter that actually cares about, being the best and fighting the best. So if you're a Gervonta Tank Davis fan, I want you to switch to David Benavidez. That's what I want all y'all to do. I want every Gervonta Tank Davis fan to just switch and become a David Benavidez fan, right? Because that's somebody that's not gonna let you down. That's somebody that's gonna actually be what you say that he's gonna be. Oh, he's this vicious knockout puncher. He's a dog. He's not scared to fight anybody. He's the best boxer in the world. That sounds more like David Benavidez than it does Gervonta Tank Davis, right? So I have no problem with all the Gervonta Tank Davis fans becoming David Benavidez fans. Just don't make David Benavidez being a David Benavidez fan weird, right? Like don't get on David Benavidez team and then start, comparing him to people that has nothing to do with him, right? You know what I'm saying? That's what people like. They like to take Gervonta Tank Davis fans, right? They like to take their Gervonta Tank Davis beef, right, and just kind of spread it around all on everybody. He said, "Not going to happen." To DP was good. DP, now that's DP. That's most definitely what's going to happen. DP, because Tank Tank is going to be missing some time, right? I don't know how else to say it. Tank gonna be missing some time, right? If it's not 3 or 4 years, it's going to be at least a year or two. Considering the fact, right, he only fights one time a year anyway. And then when you add that onto the fact that he's going through this legal battle, and it's looking like not only is he going through the Miami case now, the domestic assault and violence and kidnapping and all that shit. Now his case from 2020, this judge seems to be on his back, and that's rearing its ugly head again. So now he has to worry about that, and that one is even more serious than this one right here because this one is alleged, right? That hit and run is already set in stone. It's already filed. It's already on paper, and she violated him again And again, y'all, this is different. This is different from what I'm talking about now. Is different from him getting violated for the domestic violence, right? That that one was already scratched away. He got violated on April 24th, right? About a month ago. And then he tried to motion it to get denied, but it didn't. It got pushed through. So Tank Davis has an active arrest warrant, not an active, not an active like active arrest warrant, meaning that if he goes to jail in Maryland, if he goes to Maryland and get pulled over for a traffic ticket, he's going to jail. He has a warrant, and he has to go through that legal process, right? If you ever got a warrant, if they ever issued a warrant, then you know the feeling, you know how it feels. Not a very good feeling. One, because you know that you have to go in before you're able to get out clearly, right? Before you're able to clear your name and get out. I have to go in before I can get this shit off my name. I have to go in before I can move around freely. I have to go in before I could, do the things that I want to do, given the fact that it's a warrant. It's not going away unless you go in. On top of the fact, him going in, what they're saying is we're not even giving you a bond. So when Tank knows that when he goes in, he's going to have to spend some amount of time there, and knowing from Bills, what's good, Bill? Shout out my guy Bill. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. Shout out my guy Stay Dangerous. Shout out my guy Slim Hustlings. Shout out my girl TWTea. Shout out my guy Technique. Shout out my guy Zoom. Appreciate you sliding through this thing, Zoom. Shout out who that was. Shout out Kenny Max Payne. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through, man. If y'all could do your boy solid, tap that thumbs up for your boy, man. Greatly appreciate you sliding through. I need the Phillies to keep standing on business right now. Y'all know I be gambling. We gonna be live later. I might call one of the baseball games or WNBA games or something like that later. But actually, we cooking right now. But yeah, bro. So with that understanding, man, when Gervonta Tank Davis does decide to actually go and handle this business, he knows that he's going to have to stay there for some time, right? It seems like I said this before a little earlier, maybe about 20 minutes ago, right? It seems like this judge wants him to have to fight this in Maryland. It actually seems like she wants him, you know what I mean, in jail a bit. This is her second time violating him. The first time she violated him, it wasn't justified, basically, right? This time it's justified because it got pushed through. Whatever she said, the reasoning behind it hasn't been released yet, right? But whatever is the reason she violated his probation this time, it's went through. He filed for a motion and the motion wasn't denied. Now that I'm seeing him on that stream, you know what I mean, yesterday, it's starting to make a little sense. Maybe he knew that his motion was denied yesterday, right? And he wanted to holler at AB, about something. Maybe, hey, bro, I need you to watch my house. You know what I mean? Hey, I need you to take this bread, put it up. So one of those things, right? But a lot where he got violated because he came to Dean and AB's stream when no, the judge had already filed for this violation on the 24th, right? It was it was pushed through, you know what I mean, yesterday, right? So it was pushed through yesterday. It was filed on the 24th. So it was filed over a month ago at this point. It was pushed through yesterday Gervonta Tank Davis, because Gervonta Tank Davis was he filed a motion to have it denied, but the motion was not denied, man. So gotta be disappointing, man. Gotta be disappointing. Disappointing for the sport. Gotta be disappointing if you're Gervonta Tank Davis fans, man. Especially because the fans, Tank Davis fans, been so angry lately, and I think they've been so angry because you really don't got much to talk about when it comes to Tank, right? I see them, they talking about him fighting Shakur, just doing whatever to keep his name alive, and I get it. Just adding them in stories that don't got nothing to do with him at all, right? So he really got his fans out here. He really got his fans out here just searching and hoping, right, for some kind of good news, right? Hoping and searching for some kind of good news, and it continues to be the opposite, continues to be the other, right? I wonder how many Gervonta Tank Davis fans are actually going to talk about this. They talk about everything else. You know what I mean? I wonder how many are actually going to talk about this. Uh, right? They talk about everything and everyone else. Devin Haney could sneeze, right? And they'll say, "Look at the email champion. He's over there sneezing, right? He's scared. He don't want to fight nobody because he over there sneezing, right? And then you get news like this. He said them YouTube checks about to hit different. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. We got them joints last week on 20. We got them joints. Let's go, Turner. We got them joints last week, DP. We got them joints last week, DP. But you're right, them new YouTube checks go hit different for sure when everybody get a hold of this. Because everybody don't even got a hold of this yet. I'm sure they don't because ain't nobody talking about it but me. Right. So I know when people finally get a hold of this, when it's finally registered to them, when it finally, clock across their desk, when it finally hit, right? When it finally register in their heads, you know what I mean? I know, I know this thing's gonna I know this thing is gonna feed families and feed homes. But I'm just and this is not even me being, an asshole or nothing like that, man. Because genuinely, I'm all for pushing the sport forward, and I'm all for uh the bringing boxing back to its golden age, right? And we need Gervonta Tank Davis to do that. If we're going to get boxing back, true enough, right? We need all these guys. We need Tank, we need Devin, we need Benavidez, we need young American heavyweights, right? Demazi and Van Hooter. You know, we need we need the guys at the top. We need the guys in the middle and the guys at the bottom because all this shit makes the sport grow. Tank is one of the guys at the top. Tank is one of the most recognizable faces in the sport. So believe you me, the game is better when he's in it. You will never hear me say that Gervonta Tank Davis doesn't bring a lot to the game because he does. The thing is, can we depend on him to be the face of boxing? Can we depend on him to be the head of the sport? Because you can say what you want, uh, right, about Deontay Wilder. You can say what you want. You know what I mean? My bad about Canelo Alvarez, right? But when it came to the actual sport of boxing, those guys held the game down. Now Canelo put a black eye on the game, right, with the popping dirty of the steroids, right? But as far as like legally, morality, right, morality wise, it's bad to take steroids like that. It's not. That's 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 the moralness in taking steroids is terrible, right? It is terrible, right? But because people actually get hurt in this sport, uh, right? So maybe Canelo is a bad example. Maybe I should use Canelo, right? But let's use Deontay Wilder, right? We'll just use Deontay Wilder, right? Canelo, different situation from Tanks, right? Tank never popped dirty for steroids, but Canelo never did a lot of the shit that Gervonta Tank Davis did either. Right? You know what I mean? The stuff that Canelo did is boxing jail, right? You can get sent to boxing jail for that for sure, right? The stuff that Gervonta Tank Davis is doing, you can get sent to actual jail for that. If that if that makes any sense. Neither is good, right? Neither is good, and the morality of it isn't good either, right? But it's levels to everything, right? It's levels to everything. It's levels. It's levels to everything. It's levels to it all, right? You know what I mean? But Gervonta Tank Davis, man, has been issued an arrest warrant in the city of Maryland for violating his probation. Again, the exact reasons why that they violated his probation has not been released yet, right? The exact reasons why they violated his probation has not been released just yet, but it has been released that he indeed did violate his probation, right? It has been released that he indeed did violate his probation, and he filed. He knew about this before we did because he filed for a motion, right? And the motion was denied, which means that the warrant is going to be, followed through upon, right? It's going to be pushed through. So as of right now, he has an active warrant in Maryland for his 2020 hit and run, and he's also still battling that case in Miami. Right. He's also still battling that case in Miami right now as we speak. Travis Bryant. Shout out my guy Travis. Travis, do me a side, Travis. You still in the building, Travis? Travis, I see you in the building, Travis. Travis, I'm at 9,000. 9,000. Travis, I'm at 5,953 subscribers, my brother. Could you do me a solid? Could you hit that subscription button and get me to 5,954? Would greatly appreciate it, man. When I'm just dropping this news about Gervonta Tank Davis. I was already live before the news broke, everywhere. You know what I mean, right? But we talking about. I'm gonna drop this link in a second. I'm gonna drop this link the second hour. See if y'all want to come up. Maybe we get this second hour in. See how it go. Or the third. I'm gonna drop the link for y'all if y'all want to come up. Talk about it, shoot, get y'all a piece on it or whatnot. But just putting it out there for y'all, man. He has been violated. His probation has been violated in Baltimore, Maryland. Again, this is a separate situation from the domestic violence and kidnapping and all that he had been dealing with. So two scenarios. So there very well could be, right, y'all. There very well could be a scenario. There very well could be a scenario where he has to go to jail for both, right? So he could do this time in Maryland, and then he'll have to get shipped to do time. You know what I mean? He probably have to pay a fee in Miami. Right, you know what I mean? He probably had to pay a fee, Miami, right? But there is a scenario where he possibly could be paying for both of these crimes, whether it's out of his pocket or whether it's with actual jail time. If he violates this probation in Maryland, which he officially did, he actively has violated his probation in Maryland, right? So he's going to have to do some jail time for that, regardless, y'all. Like this is serious, serious. Like understanding. People are not understanding that how serious what I'm talking about right now really is. Like this is the worst thing that could have happened to him, right? This is almost the worst thing that could have happened to him. That worst thing that can happen to him is if he gets, found guilty of that stuff in Miami too. Then he's going to have to be serving two different things, right? Looking back on it, man. Looking back on it, man, that Jake Paul fight would have been very, 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 useful at this point, right? Given how much money that he would have made, you know what I mean, off of that fight, right? Would have made a nice bag, you know what I mean, with that fight. Now it looks like he's going to be fighting, he's going to be fighting a different battle outside of the ring. DP said that's I'm having a good time with that white chick. DP Rock, I actually think DP he knew about this before we did, DP, right? So when we saw him with that white girl, DP, he already knew, right? Because the judge violated him on April 24th, right? The judge violated him on April 24th. He filed for a motion to have the violation denied, but it didn't get denied. They pushed it through. So he knew about this a month ago, at least. I think he had been out. I think he's been out. I think he's been on these streams. He's been out because he knows he's about to go to jail, right? If you read the article, it says that the judge is not giving him a bond. So when he goes in, he's not going to get out until the end of that legal process, right? So I'm thinking DP Rocker, right? DP, hear me out, DP. I'm thinking he's been out partying because he knows that he's about to go to jail. Everybody was saying that, oh, this is really good for Tank. Oh, they had it pushed back. The people had the court thing pushed back. Well, when you're already on probation for another case, it's hard to celebrate one because now, yes, you got the domestic violence in Miami thing, right? The kidnapping in Miami. That trial hadn't started. They need more time to start that trial. But now you didn't violated probation in Maryland, so you're going to have to go to jail anyway. So now you're fighting two cases. You're fighting the one in Miami actively, and now you're fighting the one in Maryland actively. Except the one in Maryland, that judge ain't playing with you. She ain't giving you no leeway. That judge in Maryland ain't playing with you. She ain't giving you no leeway. She already had your motion denied. So that means at some point you have to go to Maryland, you have to lay it down, and you have to see out that legal situation. This is not good at all, y'all. Like when I say not good, like and you listening to the tone of my voice, the tone of my voice ain't doing it any justice because I sound real calm, cool, and collected and whatnot. But y'all, Gervonta Tank Davis, this is not a time to be calm, cool, and collected. You see, you see that now. Again, I know some of y'all not gonna believe me, right? But you see that none of these big pages have gotten to this news yet. Once this news really hits the fan, once people really realize what's going on now, once they really realize how serious of a situation this is, he violated his probation from 2020, y'all. Right? That means time served. You got to go serve that time. That's why he don't have a bond in Maryland because he violated probation. You don't get a bond for probation violation. You got to see out. You got to see out the whole course. You got to let the law system run its course, meaning that he has to prove his innocence if he wants to get out of, you know, the particular. If he has to prove his innocence if he wants to get out of this probation violation in Washington. You know what I mean? So tough day for Gervonta Tank Davis. Tough day. Tough day for Gervonta Tank Davis fans. Even tougher day for Gervonta Tank Davis himself. But I personally think he's been, he was out. You saw him out dancing, and you saw him on the stream last night with AB and Dean. I think he's been doing it because he knew before we knew, right, that he was going to have to go lay it down. Remember, before he went to jail the first time, he was quote unquote right on the run, meaning that a arrest warrant was issued, but you didn't turn yourself in. Don't necessarily mean you on the run, just mean that you ain't turned yourself in yet, right? We've been there, or maybe you haven't been there, right? But I didn't have a warrant out for my arrest before, right? You get everything situated here, as you smoke a little bit, you drink a little bit, and then you go turn yourself in. You know what I mean? The next day. So this is the process that Gervonta Tank Davis is in. I'm pretty sure he's getting himself together, which is probably why he talked to AB, right? Getting his T's crossed and his I's dotted before he has to go in to, prison. Basically, that's what's going to happen, right? That's most definitely what's going to happen to him, right? You know what I mean? Because the probation violation is not nothing to play with. Because the probation violation, right, is not anything to play with, which is exactly why he's not going to get a bond, right? Which is exactly why he's not going to get a bond on this particular situation because it's a violation of something that he was already. Because it's a violation of something that he was already, you know what I mean, going through. Right. So tough spot for Gervonta Tank Davis, man. Bad look, bad black eye on the sport of boxing. Right. You got so many people, right, who believe in you, who depending on you, who want you to do great things, continue to do great things. Right. And it seems like all the news as of late, right, at least that we get about Gervonta Tank Davis, it has more to do with outside of the ring than inside of the ring. Again, I am extremely interested though to see exactly what he was violated for, because again, they have not mentioned the reasoning right for his violation. All they said was that he violated and that it was upheld, right? Meaning that he violated, meaning that he filed a motion, meaning that his motion was denied, meaning that their warrant is going to stick until he turned himself in and legally start that process, right? You know what I mean? So shit, if y'all want to come up here and holler at your boy, I'll drop that link for y'all. Right. But if y'all don't want to, if y'all don't got nothing to say, nothing on it. We could end this thing, get up out of here. Well, now actually, man, because I haven't done a show today, I actually might just let this thing run. You know what I mean, for a little minute, and we'll continue to talk about it. You know what? Normally, right? I have. Hold on, yeah, I'm multitasking. Normally, I would have when I run the Tank Davis. Normally, I have more people in here. Right now, I think they in here. Y'all came through here, right? Because I see it's already. It's been 100. It's been 120. Y'all come through here, right? But 120 y'all ain't said nothing. You know what I mean? Just because I know deep down a lot. And then again, y'all, if y'all worried about, I know for my Tank fans, right? This ain't got nothing to do with his journey in Miami. This is separate from. This is separate from the stuff that he's dealing with in Miami, right? Just to let y'all know, this is separate from the stuff that he's dealing with in Miami. Matter of fact, let's roll up. Matter of fact, let's roll up because we go smoke one. We about to smoke one. Come on, Phillies. I need the Phillies to win. And then I got Yanks, Dodgers, and the Portland Fire. Y'all hit that thumbs up for your boy. We about to roll one, Jack. We about to roll one, Jack. I gotta pee it. So y'all hold on, bro. I'm about to run to the store, give me some roll ups, and then I will be back. Okay. My bad, y'all. My bad. But yeah, man, I'm finna run and go. I'm finna run and go grab me some roll ups real quick. Then we go. I'm gonna drop the link. I'm gonna drop the link. Matter of fact, the link for y'all now. Right. Then we gonna talk about. Then we gonna talk about it. So let's do this. Let's do this. Then we go talk about it. Let's get there. I want this thing to hit at least about 200. Right. So we gonna get this thing to about 200. Right. So anyway, because I'm not going back live later on, so I might as well make this one count for what it's gonna count for. Might as well make this one count what it's gonna count for. Ever since I was a kid, I've been legit. Uh, if I wasn't one, I cut off my wrist. All right. I don't mind it. Minded. Minded. Yeah, my bad, y'all. What's that? What's that, DP? What's that, DP? What that is, DP? There's more info. Let me read. Let me read. Boxing news. Let's see what they got to say. Let's see. Let's see if they tell us exactly. If I can find out exactly why, I'll be able to know if he'd be able to get off of it, right? Devontae Davis could be making a return to the ring for N26. As reports indicate that talks undergo lightweight bout against him and Floyd Schofield later this year. Davis coming off a draw against Lamar Roach, inactive nearly 14 months while dealing with legal issues outside of boxing. Despite this long hiatus, Davis still boasting impressive per record 30-0, 128 knockouts. However, the reports indicate that Davis is wanted by Maryland authorities for allegedly violating his probation following the arrest in Miami on domestic violence charges, according to the Baltimore County Court database. Database showed a court order dated April 24th. Although Davis' lawyer filed arguments to have it revoked, their request was denied on May 22nd. This is because of what happened in Miami. So he got violated because of what happened in Miami. Oh shit. Oh shit. So when everybody was talking about when everybody was oh shit. Wow. DP. DP. So when everybody was talking about the the warrant was retracted. Remember, everybody we got so happy like Tank Davis got a arrest warrant, and then he filed and he had it taken away. It never got taken away originally. They so what they saying is, oh y'all, this it's even worse than I thought. DP is even worse than I thought, bro. Nah, DP is worse than I thought, bro. Because that would mean that he probably is in trouble for that shit that happened in Miami too. Then, if they went back, if they went back, if they went back and said it, so they never. So the first time she violated him, he filed for a motion to have it extended, and then on May 22nd, they said that that he did oh man, Tank finna go to jail, y'all. Oh, bro, Tank is finna go to jail, y'all. Oh, he about to do some time, bro. Oh, he about to do some time, dog. So that would mean that the shit that happened in Miami is more serious than people want to believe then, because they're violating him because of what happened in Miami. So that would mean that he probably not getting off that shit that happened in Miami, like everybody thinking, like they asked to get it pushed back to get more time. But if the judge got cleared to violate him because of what happened in Miami, then that stuff in Miami, he will have to clear his name in Miami then, right? So the silver line is, before I just get straight to all the negative and bad news, right? If he clear his name in Miami, then he can get himself out of all of this, right? If he clear his name in Miami, then he can get himself out of all this. Okay, so yeah, okay, so I see now. Okay, bet that's how he can fix it. That's how he could fix it. He will have to clear his name because if he clears his name in Miami, that means that the violation would be voided because if the stuff that happened in Miami he never got charged for, right? Then you can't violate him for probation for something he did that he didn't get charged for because he didn't get charged for anything. Davis was originally arrested on January 14th in Florida on charge of assault, false imprisonment, attempted kidnapping. He eventually posted bail and was ordered to have no contact with the former partner. While the false imprisonment charge was dropped, the assault and attempted kidnapping charges remain. The latest updates from the Baltimore court database shows an active arrest warrant for Davis. If apprehended, he will be held without bond. So they are standing on that held without bond shit when it comes to Javante. For sure, they are standing on that held without bond thing. So wow, y'all. So now, bro, I'm looking at now. This is bad, y'all. This is bad. This is bad. This is bad, y'all. Appreciate that, DP. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. DP, this is bad, bro. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. Okay, y'all. So what I just read was that. Okay, y'all. So what I just read was that basically the judge violated him. The judge violated him. This is the same warrant. This is the same warrant that she filed the first time. They got taken back. Right. This is the same thing that she tried to do the first time that got taken back. But apparently it didn't get taken back because they said it got pushed through. Tank filed for a motion, I think, to buy himself more time. Right. That's what happened. Tank filed for a motion to buy himself more time. And then it came back that the judge still denied the motion. So Tank is going to have to serve some time. He gonna have to serve some time for this shit. So he was on probation for the stuff in 2020. And him going to that fucking club in Miami, messing with that girl, them violated his fucking probation in 2020. Right? I was reading it too fast. I was overlooking what was being said. So basically what they actually said was he motioned to have that motherfucker um to have it taken back. He motioned to have it taken back, right? But the motion was denied. So really, all he did was buy himself some time when he filed that first one. He bought himself some time when he filed that first one. You know what I mean? So he basically was just trying to buy him. He basically was just trying to buy himself some time, right? But that was denied. So actually, like, so, bro, that is crazy, bro. This shit is bad. This is bad, y'all. Oh, this is bad, y'all. He gotta get. He gotta. He gotta find a way. He gotta find a way to clear his name for that shit in Miami. Because if he clears his name for that stuff in Miami, y'all, he can clear his name from everything. Well, not clear his name from everything, but he can at least get his probation violation taken away. Right? So if he's able to clear his name in Miami, then he never violated a probation. But he has to win that case in Miami. He can't take a plea deal or anything like that. Because if you take a plea, that means that you're admitting to a crime, you're admitting to something. And Tank is not in a position where he can admit to anything. He has to get off of that case in Miami scot free. If he's able to get off of that case scot free, then you can't violate him. You can't violate his probation because he didn't break any laws in Miami. So this is all going to stem from Javante Tank Davis's Miami case because he was violated in Maryland because of what happened in Miami. And you're going to say Southern T, well, didn't they clear his name for that earlier this year? They filed a motion to clear his name from that earlier this year, but the motion was never granted. Even I thought the motion was granted earlier, but it was not granted earlier. He filed a motion, bought himself some time, but the judge still denied it. So that's why an arrest warrant has been issued for Javante Tank Davis. So this is not even a different arrest warrant from the one he got in January. February, March, April, May. Yeah, this is not even a different arrest warrant from the one he got in January. This is the same arrest warrant. It's just that it's been finalized and pushed through now, right? He filed for a motion to have it taken away, right? He bought himself some more time, but this is the same exact warrant from the one in January, y'all. You know what I mean? This is the same one. That's what they last one. Shout out DP Rocker. That's what Fight News just broke. Hold on, y'all. I forgot give me some. I forgot give me some more. Hold on. This is crazy. Hold on, y'all. Yo, all right, y'all, man. But now, bro, like, let's read this one more time. Shout out my guy DP Rocker. What time the first game? 6:40, 9-9. So Yankees play 6. Okay, so let's look at this one more time. Let's look at this one more time before. Because it said the same thing. It said the same thing. I just think my understanding was better for the E News. It said the same thing. I just think my understanding was better for the E News. So when the original news, but if I'm not mistaken, I looked into that too, and it clearly said that the arrest warrant was taken away. But now it's saying that the arrest warrant wasn't taken away, that Tank Davis just filed it and it was actually denied. So it sounded like he bought time rather than sound like he filed to have it taken away, but it wasn't taken away. And now they just for sure pushed it through. Okay. However, the reports indicate that Davis is wanted by Maryland authorities for allegedly violating his probation following an arrest in Miami on domestic violence charges, according to the Baltimore County Court database. The database shows a court order dated April 24th. Although Davis' lawyers filed arguments to have it revoked, their request was denied May 22nd. Okay, so the one that she ordered in April for the case violation was okay. So she said that he violated in April. Davis' lawyers filed to have it revoked, but they denied the request May 22nd. Right. So I guess it took them. So I guess it took them a month, is what it's saying. It took them a month to decide whether he was. I guess what they saying is it took them a month to decide whether they was going to pass it or deny it. Is what it's saying. Davis originally arrested on the 14th, Florida charge of assault. He eventually posted bail. That's crazy. So the same one that had him yeah, that's crazy, y'all. Yeah, so he violated his probation by getting in trouble with this lady in Florida. So because he walked into the club, because he walked into that club and did, what he did, which hasn't been proven, which he hasn't been proven guilty of yet. The fact that he walked in there and he even did what he did was enough for them to violate his probation, is what it's saying. So it looks really, really bad for him. The way that I could see him getting absolved from all of this, there is a way that he can be absolved from all of this, and I think his way out of this, right? I think his way to be absolved from all of this is he has to clear his name in Florida. If he could clear his name in Florida, If he can clear his name in Florida, then I think all of this goes away. Right? If he could clear his name in Florida, then all of this goes away. All of this goes away. But because of the situation that happened in Florida, is the reason that all of this is happening because he decided to go up to that club, right? I ain't gonna say my guy name, but we had a conversation about this. One of my guys straight up told me, you know, it's the girl fault that Tank Davis, got in trouble. But all Tank had to do was keep his black ass at the crib. That's all he had to do was just stay home. If Tank Davis would have just stayed home, what I mean, none of this would be happening, right? All he had to do was stay home. Now you could argue whether what he did was egregious or not, right? But he won't be going. Come on, man, come on. But he won't be going through. He won't be going through any of this, right? If he had never went up to that club in the first place, he won't be going through any of this if he had never went up there in the first place. He had never went to there. Now you can feel, oh well, he didn't hit the girl, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Well, he went up there, right? It's attempted kidnapping too. Attempted kidnapping, not kidnapping. It's attempted kidnapping too, not kidnapping, which is also a serious charge, right? Because that means that you tried to kidnap somebody, they escaped. That means they escaped. You know, but the way out of this is for him to clear his name in Florida. I just want the truth. What's good? Shout out to my guy. I just want the truth. What's good? I just want the truth. We're here talking about the Javante Tank Davis situation, right? I've been live for a minute. I was alive a little before the news broke, but because it broke, right? I'm still gonna talk about it. Still gonna talk about it. Hadn't ran a live in a couple days, so I figured, fuck it, why not? Let's just let's run a live. But you know, and I think it's funny how people be like, "Certainty, you don't go live that much." Then I start going live, right? And then they don't go live that much. But I digress. Shout out to my guy. I just want the truth, man. But yeah, this is not good at all, bro. This not a good look. Not a good look for Tank. Actually, not good for Tank at all, man. So yeah, if he could absolve himself in Florida, then this case will go away. If he could absolve himself in Florida, say who else on that shot four card? Uh, I'm not really sure. Let's go, cause I ain't gonna lie. I'm debating if I'm going to that joint uh Saturday. I was gonna take my daughters to Florida this week, but then I realized that fight card was Saturday, so I said I'm gonna hold on for a second because I might go to Houston Saturday. But I honestly don't know who else is on that card. Like that fight is good enough for me, right? But let's see who else on that card. Let's see who else on that card to make let's see who else on that card to make sure. Let's see who else on the card to make sure for you, brother, because you asked. Because you asked, man. Because Jay-Z B-Vol should get the dub. B-Vol don't fight this weekend. Stephanie Hahn and Holly Holm this weekend. I don't see B-Vol on here. Well, my book ain't got him yet. But not really like a not really like the sexiest weekend if you're looking for like big name fights. Ray Ford and O'Shack is sexy, right? But outside of that, like as far as the matchup goes, not really a lot of good matchups. You know what I mean? Some name Serrano fighting, right? She a name, but she's not necessarily fighting anybody she's not fighting anybody with the name, you know. But yeah, so shit, yeah, Bivol fighting this Saturday in Russia. Why I don't see this shit on my book, bro? That's crazy. They don't got Bivol joint up here. Maybe it's on FanDuel, but DraftKings don't got it. Maybe DraftKings just trying to black me out. Maybe they just not gonna tell me. Maybe they not gonna tell me on time, so I don't have time to prepare or study for it because they do it like that. But Bivol gonna win his fight though. That ain't. Yeah, I know who he fighting. I didn't know it was this weekend, but I know who he fighting. He gonna win this fight though. I don't see much. Not really intrigued about that one. Not really intrigued by that one, if I'm being real with you. And I'm a B-ball guy. Not really intrigued by that one, and I'm a B-ball guy. You know what I mean? Somewhere right now, it's a Tank Davis fan. They want me to go. They want me to end my life so bad right now. So where I know it's a Tank Davis fan, they want me to end my life so bad right now. And I am gonna end it right after I smoke this blunt at the 2 hour mark. At the 2 hour mark. But yeah, action man, my next live, right? It's Adam Azim fight Steve Claggett. Yep, I got Adam Azim in it. Steve Claggett never been stopped before though. I just want the truth. No, Steve Claggett never been stopped. So that's interesting, right? Adam Azim stopped people. Well, Steve Claggett has been stopped. He's only been stopped once, right? He only been stopped once. So I think that's interesting. I do think Adam Azim wins, but I think all the value is on Adam Azim to go the distance. Either Steve Claggett hasn't ever been stopped or he's only been stopped once. Is one of the two. I gotta check to make sure though, but I do got Adam Azim to win that fight. If you asking me who I think gonna win it, I do got Adam Azim to win that fight. I got Azim to win. I got Stephanie Hunter to win. I got O'Shaquie Foster to win. Cause I almost did my money line boxing picks. So there goes Stephanie Hunter money line, right? O'Shaquie Foster money line. Amanda Serrano to win. Amari Jones to win. Yokasta Valet to win, right? She fighting Lourdes Jarez, right? Valet, Jones, Serrano, Foster, Han, Mary Spencer, and Delisa Robinson. I gotta make sure that Delsa person is that Desley person is who I think it is. Neary, right? Neary Planter. We got Neary to win. Adam Azim to win. Francesca Hennessy to win. Jurgen and Kassan. Not gonna miss. They don't know who that is. Got to look into that one. Kevin Lorena and Mary don't know who Murray is. Joe Cody don't know who Joe Cody is either. Then you got Charlie Edwards and Sicko Nato. Know who Charlie Edwards is. Don't know who Nato is though. But Stephanie Hunt, Foster, Serrano, Jones, Neary, Azim, Hennessy. Those my fight winners for the week. Those my fight winners for the week. If you're wondering. And my guy just want the truth. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is going on? Between these sheets and then go home. But yeah, those my 7 winners for the week. I just want the truth. Those my 7 winners for the week right there, my brother. Amy, what is going on between these sheets and in my home, baby? Wait, let me explain before you start to point your cane. Earl, I'm about to have a fit. Oh, it's about to be some shit. How did I get into this? Shit? Never came home with this bitch. Low down dirty woman, go back to where you come from. Now wait, and now wait my ass. Hit the sheets. Hit the streets. Your ass is grand now, Mr. Big. Before you go, how you know my name, sir? Anyway, I was going to tell you, ooh, this cat looks real familiar. Well, now don't I know you from somewhere a long time ago? Nah, nah, I don't think so. Yeah, yeah. I feel I know you, brother, very well. Nah, nah. You're mistaking me for somebody, yeah. Me, share can't you see to me not talk? Thought I told your ass to get the walking. Now I think you better leave this land. Cause I'm about to catch a game. You're contagious. Touch me, baby. Give me what you got. Mercury and Liberty start. But yeah, man, yeah, man. Yeah, but those my picks. Those my picks for the weekend. I just want the truth. I don't know if you heard them. I just want the truth. I don't know if you heard them. I just want the truth. But those my picks for the weekend. Boy, I'm a water drinking ass nigga. Girl, I think I'm about to leave this land. But yeah, man, I just thought I wanted to come in here and drop that news on y'all, man. I'm gonna end this done in 12. I'm gonna end this done 2 hour mark, right? I dropped the link for the game. Y'all want to come say something. Don't nobody want to say nothing. Don't nobody got nothing to say today, huh? Don't Let me stop being the asshole, y'all. Let me stop being. Don't nobody got nothing to say today, huh? You know, but this is why too. This is why I be dropping the, stop all the fake Tank Davis news and shit too, right? Because y'all be leading these fans on. Like a lot of these people, y'all be leading these fans on, making them think one thing when it's really something else. And then when the shit hit the fan, now everybody looking crazy because they've been believing you and you've been telling them everything good when everything ain't been good. I got a really tragic story about, somebody telling us everything good, and it ain't been good. You know what I mean? But I ain't gonna go down that road. You know what I mean? But we gotta stop misleading people with all this info, right? Because if you listen to some of these pages are strictly like, you know, only Javante Davis fan pages, right? So it's always good news, right? It's always good news, good news, good news, good news. And then you have people come to me like Southern T. You heard about this, and that. I'm like, bro, that's not true. That's not true at all. You know what I mean? But I get it, right? Because when you're Javante Tank Davis, you have let your fans down. Tank has let his fans down. So see what you mean, because you're not giving them anything positive to talk about. So they're out here angry at everybody, making shit up every day because they don't really have anything positive. They don't really have anything to talk about. You haven't had a fight in 2 years. On top of all the news that you put out is negative. All of the news, all the news that comes out about you is negative. So they can't report that negative news on you. So a lot of times you just got these, and I say this for a reason. People take offense to this, but you got to hear me out when I'm saying what I'm saying. Javante Tank Davis and his fans are messing up the game, right? He's messing up the game because nigga, you at the top of the game and you can't seem to get right. His fans are messing up the game because they're so angry that they don't have anything. He's out here at your picks. I don't see Ford winning. Yeah, I got Foster. Did I say Ford? I got Oshaki. I didn't say Ford. Did you must be late? I just wanted to. You must be listening. I ain't say. I said Oshaki Foster. I got Oshaki Foster. You ain't see my short? I dropped it on the short. Go check my short out. I dropped my picks on the short. Now I got Foster. I got Hennessy, Azim. I got Hennessy, Azim, Neary, Valet, Jones, Serrano, Foster. Foster. If I said Ford, I meant Foster. If I if I said Ford, I meant Foster. But I got Foster winning though. I dropped it on my short. I dropped it on my short. Yeah. If I said Ford, I meant Foster. But yeah, I got Foster winning though. I got Foster winning it. But yeah, man. So yeah, like, but yeah, what I mean by that. Okay. Baby. He said, you said Shock win. I'm picking Shock too. I don't see a way Ford could win yet. What people are, I'm noticing what people are hanging on to, right, with that. What people are hanging on to with that, right, what they saying with that is Ford can knock out Oshaki Foster, right? Ford got 8 knockouts. Ford got 8 knockouts. 8. What makes you think? Like, what makes you think he's about to knock out Oshaki Foster with 8 knockouts, right? That's my thing. Like, what makes you think that? What makes you think he's about to knock out Oshaki Foster, bro, with 8 knockouts on his resume? Crazy. Crazy work. Said he couldn't even kill Komodo. He had a bad knee and the ref had to stop it. Yeah, shout out to him because I picked him in that fight versus Komodo. I picked him in that fight, so I'm glad that he came back and got the stop because he was losing. He was getting outboxed in that fight. I had said that he was the better boxer going into that fight. He wasn't. He wasn't the better boxer, right? He was getting outboxed in that fight. He was getting beat up. If I'm mistaken, his eye was closed, and he ended up coming back and he ended up stopping, bro. And I'm so glad he did because I had Raymond Ford that day. But yep, but yep, 12 round stoppage, boy. I was so happy that day because I thought he was over. I thought it was over. So I'm glad that he came back and he made it do what he do, man. But look, y'all, I'm not gonna hold y'all in this thing too much longer. Right. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through this thing, man. Devontae Tank Davis has been issued in the rest. I dropped the link, nobody didn't want to come up. I was gonna do a 3 hour, right? But I think y'all got the point across, right? You know what I mean? I think BF about to go live soon. If you ain't already, you know what I mean? So yeah, I dropped the link for the gang that wanted to come hang though. But the gang don't want to come talk today. The gang don't want to come hang today, man. Not even the trolls. I don't got the normal, Tank Davis. So I'm interested to see, how this plays out, right? Uh, it's looking bad right now. You know what I mean? It's looking kind of bad right now. This is not a win, right? This is a loss for boxing, big loss for Tank, right? lost for boxing, lost for the sport. This is supposed to be the Tank Davis era right now. Instead, he's fighting more cases outside of the ring than he is. He's doing just as much as fighting outside of the ring as he is in the ring, right? Because when he fought Lamar Roach 2 years ago, when he fight Lamar Roach, a year ago, I said 2 years ago, I'm tripping. When he fight Lamar Roach a year ago, right? So he been out the ring. He said what? It said 14 months, right? So he been out the ring a year and 2 months. Man, wasted, man. A lot of wasted talent. A lot of wasted talent, man, when it comes to Devontae Tank Davis. He about to lose some more years, right? He losing years anyway, right? Now he about to lose some more years. He hadn't had a fight in 14 months. He got the arrest warrant thing. Man, that could very well put him in jail for years. That could very well put him in jail for years. Like he could be in jail for years at this point, y'all. Y'all get what I'm saying? Like his way out of this, he has to clear his name in Miami. If he can clear his name in Miami, then his probation violation will be voided. It'll be non-existent, and he'll just have to still be on probation for the hit and run, right? But he's in jail for violating the hit and run probation now. So if he can get this thing in Miami that just happened to go away, then that would get him out of jail, right? He wouldn't have to be in jail. He just have to be serving his probation because he has to serve time now. He has to serve time now. He has to serve time right now at this moment for violating his probation. And he violated his probation because he did what he did in Miami in a strip club. So if he could get off of what he did in Miami, if he could get that to go away, then they have to let him, he can't, they have to let him out of jail. Right. So he has to try to get this thing taken care of in Miami as quickly as possible. He has to get this thing, he has to get this situation in Miami taken care of as quickly as possible. That way he won't have to do any jail time at all. Right. But he has to, at this point, he has to be in jail while he worked through this situation that's going on in Miami, y'all. Right? Because he has a warrant in Maryland. Now, if he don't go back to Maryland, then he can't get arrested. Right? But I would think if you're at court in Florida, they could send you to Maryland. But yeah, man, it's a sticky situation with Tank Davis right now. Feel like he let a lot of people down, including himself, right? Feel like he let himself down, let his fans down, let boxing down, especially with so much talent being there, right? You got people love you, right? You got a lot of fans, people love you, people love watching you fight, exciting. You get the superstars to come out, right? And you know, I don't want to say you're gonna throw it away because I would think that even if you have to serve time, right, you coming back, right? And let's say by some chance you don't have to serve time at all, right? I think you're coming back. You was about to fight Schofield, you negotiating with Schofield, right? So, I think that's gonna push that back a little bit, but most definitely a black eye for the sport of boxing, man. Uh, Tank Davis let himself down, man. He let his fans down. And now your fans most definitely gonna be out here angry at everybody, diminishing everybody else's accomplishments and shit. Right, you know what I mean? Just pissed off because, they can't talk about their favorite fighter, you know what I mean, compete. They can't talk even good news about their favorite fighter because most of the news that come out about their favorite fighter is bad news, right? So they kind of gotta hate everybody and everything, right? So I'm done even blaming, the Devontae Tank Davis fans, right? Because Eric Spence ain't fought in 3 years, right? But at least I ain't had to defend him, in moral court or no shit like that. So I understand and wanting your favorite fighter to fight and not getting it, right? But man, TD got to get it together, man. Hopefully, you know, He don't have to do any serious, jail time, but start a home run. But at this moment, you know what I mean? A warrant has been issued for his arrest in Maryland, right? And they said no bond will be granted for him for that warrant that's been issued, and it's for violating his probation because of what he did in Miami, right? So his quickest fix for this, his end route for this is get that Miami situation taken care of, and he should be good, right? The Miami situation shouldn't even happen though because he should have just stayed his ass at the crib. But I digress. Appreciate y'all folks sliding through, spending hard away Southern T. This ain't the past. This ain't the future. This the present. That's how we rocking. And I'm out. Love.